So it's weird. Okay, so I was talking to a guy who studies philosophy himself, and he's actually really good. He got published for a metaphysics paper, um, which I thought was really decent. It was about Leibniz's law of identity and how time is relevant in that discussion. Um, but that's not important. The point is that like I thought that he would be one to understand me, especially because he claimed himself to be a nihilist, but I don't really think he is, or at least he certainly doesn't even try to act like one. Um, but he he was upset when I told him that I was suicidal, and even though I gave him both emotional and philosophical reasons, he staunchly opposed it all, and he was very emotional about it. Not to say anything bad on his part, because I mean he couldn't help it. That was just who he was, and I actually I felt really bad about hurting him. Uh, I had to go and talk to my friends afterwards, just because I felt so bad about like making him cry. I didn't see him cry, but the way his voice was going, and he told me he had to leave. I'm pretty sure he ended up crying, which is a real shame. Um, so the point that I'm trying to make here is that he stated that I shouldn't die because I have so much potential. Now, this is interesting to me, the idea that one shouldn't die because of potential for the future, or just because I have potential. Like, it's weird because he did not agree with me on anything. Like, I've studied Japanese for many years, and like he started, I think, last year, and he didn't agree with me on how the Japanese character system works. He blatantly disagreed that characters have sounds, despite the fact that they definitely do. Um, and he disagreed with like I don't know like the science behind Japanese pedagogy, but like he I was telling him that like I was fine if he had a different way of learning the characters and how to memorize them, but he seemed to think that that wasn't good enough, that no, his way was definitively better than my way, and I found that absurd. um like he couldn't agree with me on Japanese. He didn't agree with anything that I had to say in philosophy, and yet for all that, he seemed to think that I had potential. Potential for what? Like to be wrong about everything? Like why would he want me to keep living, to keep studying philosophy? Like what if I never changed? What if I never like found an argument that made me convinced that I was wrong, or that someone else had a better argument concerning the things that I believe? Then I would be continually propagating these um, bad ideas that he doesn't agree with, and he doesn't seem to be the person to think, well, it's a diversity of ideas is good because of the whole Japanese thing. So it's hard for me to understand what it was that he wanted out of me. Like, does he somehow think that, oh, well, no, people should only learn a certain way, but as for philosophy, like, yeah, large diversity is good. No, you should keep living to keep spouting out these false ideas I don't agree with and convincing others that I'm right, even though we both know you're wrong. Like, even though I think you're wrong, like, ooh, that's kind of his position. It doesn't make sense to me. Um, and seriously, like, potential, if I were to keep living, I would probably become a suicide activist, like to help people whom I believe are rational and reasonable in committing suicide, to help give them their liberties, to help mental illness people like not be stigmatized as much. And by stigmatized, I do include the idea that they're not mentally competent. I do include the idea of involuntary hospitalization for an adult who's not any harm to anybody else because self-harm is not illegal. Uh, I don't understand why people would want someone like me to live if they disagree with everything that I would actually be doing in life. Well, not everything, but um, I mean, I'd be doing quite a bit of things that most people would not be happy about. Is that really something that you would rather me have? I guess if so, then sure. I can't disagree that, yeah, I had potential. And maybe if you agree with me, then yeah, maybe I had potential to actually make a bigger change than uh, what I will have done. But I mean, overall, if you're the kind of person like him who thinks that I'm wrong on everything, then the potential that you're saying is so great with optimism is really potential to do something that you really don't agree with, and it would be my potential to try and convince others to believe how I think. I don't see that as being a good thing for you to stand by. Um, so that's pretty much what I wanted to get about that.